whatever we can over the long haul to do right by our responsibilities.
David, one of the things that everybody's mentioned so far is the mental stress it's going to cause for average Americans who are caught in the middle of all this. And one of the things that, it's not, these aren't everyday, no matter how well educated one is, they're not always certain how power is transmitted, why it's transmitted the way it is, and so on. Could you explain to the folks here, the public is listening, what the impact on some of the utilities have had on the ability to generate the pumping of water? Because there's a lot of accusations going around that it's because that the local leadership didn't care. I mean, explain how this works and why it makes sense what's happened.
So this is an issue, actually, Secretary Granholm was on the phone with the CEO of Southern Cal Edison to talk exactly about this and make sure we were doing everything we can on that front. And it's both the power issue, and you mentioned generators and other ways that we can try to help solve the problem there, but it's also the pressure and making sure that we're thinking of these things holistically. And certainly my experience over the last 4 years under your leadership is it's not one department, it's not one slice of your federal government that is responsible. Energy and water issues overlap in a lot of different ways. So we work with our EPA colleagues and others to make sure that we're bringing all of our expertise and explaining it to our fellow Americans. It's important that we give transparent information and information they can rely upon.
Well, I think it's just people don't know how it functions. And for example, since I've been president, I've been in an aircraft flying over more territory where there have been wildfires, from Arizona all the way up to Idaho and beyond, and that make up an area larger than the entire state of Maryland, burned to the ground. And one of the problems has been that people don't understand that when these high winds occur, what happens is, or when these storms occur, these utility poles, these whole, those big lines you see where all the lines are on, they fall to the ground in the middle of the forest. It's not just about raking the leaves under the trees, it's about the fires that causes. And so utilities have to shut down the ability to continue to transmit on those lines. And the consequence of that, I don't think most people think, no matter how well educated they are, unless they're in the area, that there's a direct correlation between the utility company and the ability to pump water out of a hydrant. And so it allows for a lot of uninformed people to make assertions or concerns or accusations about the local officials not caring or not working. So as I understand it, the vast majority of the circumstances where the water resource has been diminished is because of the utility company not being able to maintain the electric transmission because they're getting knocked down or shutting down so they don't cause more fires.
Fires, exactly.
But now what is happening is, are we getting cooperation with utility companies to bring in generators and others to bring in generators to generate the energy to allow that fire hydrant to function? Explain that a little bit.
So this is the pragmatic can-do attitude, and folks who've been literally doing these are civil servants.